This is the story of the travels of the Australian Baptist movement. It is a good story. It begins with the early settlers and Baptist preachers who came from English Baptist churches. At once, they pointed to Christ and challenged the oppressive convict system and treatment of the original custodians of this land. It wasn't long before the first farming communities and the gold rush miners experienced the gospel as deed and as word. It created a platform for miners and those on the land to know Jesus and form other churches. We were now gaining momentum. An overseas mission society was formed as 5 women set off to modern-day Bangladesh. In doing so, they set in motion what has now become Baptist Mission Australia, whose heart's desire is to empower communities to develop their own distinctive ways of following Jesus. They now serve across the Pacific, Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. And by the beginning of the 20th century, it was full steam ahead as the states had established Baptist unions or associations and were forming colleges. Fresh biblical studies motivated followers to move into business and political circles, to work and bear witness. Before and after World War I, veterans, widows and others on a trail of struggle found refuge in missions like that of West End Baptist. And from there, the foundations were laid for our Baptist care organisations. The movement was now gathering speed. People from across all of society were coming on board. A central coordinating network, the Baptist Union of Australia, was established by the state associations to empower and sustain mission. This is known today as Australian Baptist Ministries. The Great Depression and World War II couldn't slow us. Baptist care organisations in partnership with local churches opened homes for the elderly. The station might have seemed full with the post-war influx of migrants, the baby boom and the new sprawling suburbia. But our response was trust God and introduce a new set of initiatives ripe for the time. Baptists were integral to the Billy Graham Crusades, and in the revivalist atmosphere that followed, numbers swelled as many people became followers of Jesus and joined the movement. Our churches were now stoked and primed, and ministries like Crossover, in partnership with state associations, worked alongside churches to share Jesus in more diverse communities. ABM, working with the states, continued to develop national ministries in education, church health and church planting, with a special emphasis among the first Australians in Central Australia. The D dimension of the movement deepened with the founding of Baptist World Aid. The call to be, love and end poverty drove our action. Children and communities the world over witnessed the light of the Christ in us. And more recently, as the gap has grown between rich and poor, our Baptist care agencies have become some of Australia's leading care providers, and Baptist Insurance and Baptist Financial Services provide invaluable support to the mission of the local church, the state associations and the whole movement. Specific ministries among women, children, youth and young adults emerged. A Just Cause was founded to equip the church to respond to issues of justice. Australian Baptist Ministries now works in collaboration with the states and agencies to facilitate the network, connecting the dots of the various parts as we seek to be like Jesus. We are diverse, Jesus-centred and mission-shaped. The tracks of our journey spread far and wide, but the journey continues. Now it remains for you and I to add to this great story as we move forward together.